Call this Board of Aldermen meeting to order. If you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, could I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Bowman.
Present.
Alderman Bockelman. Here. Alderman Reese.
Present.
Alderman Milner is absent. Alderman Dickerson.
Here.
Alderman Long.
Here.
Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Levison.
Here.
And Mayor Hassel.
Here, and we do have a quorum. Good evening, everyone. We do have a ceremonial matter tonight. It is FFA week. However, I did receive an email. The teacher over at the Career Center said that the students were instructed to stay home this evening because of the inclement weather. Can't say that I blame them. I think it's probably best that they stay home and not get out. It's already getting bad. So, but we will read the proclamation, and then I will make sure it gets delivered to them. National FFA Week, February 16th through the 23rd, 2019. Whereas FFA and agricultural education provide a strong foundation for the youth of America and the future of the food, fiber, and natural resources system. And whereas FFA promotes premier leadership, personal growth, and career success among its members. And whereas agricultural education and FFA ensure a steady supply of young professionals to meet the growth needs in the science, business, and technology of agriculture. And whereas the FFA motto, learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve, gives direction and purpose to these students who take an active role in succeeding in agricultural education. And whereas FFA promotes citizenship, volunteerism, patriotism, and cooperation. Therefore, I do hereby designate the week of February 16th, 23rd, 2019 as National FFA Week. So, very good program. Say, unfortunate they couldn't be here for us to recognize them, but we will be sure they get this and they can definitely watch the video. So, thank you. Okay, that is it for our ceremonial matters tonight. We'll move on to public participation. Anybody who has anything to bring before this board that is not on our already scheduled agenda, please feel free to step forward. Seeing no one, we will move on to the approval of the minutes. Tonight you have the minutes from the regular meeting of February 4th, 2019.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Turner for approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Moving on to our agenda items. Council Bill 10.
Council Bill 10, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Harrisonville, Missouri, authorizing and directing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Ed M. Feld Equipment Company for the purchase of one Type 1 ambulance for the total purchase price of $223,896 and establishing an effective date.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is a budgeted item that was on the for the 2019 budget. Of course, I haven't really got a chance to read the packet. I hope on the council bill, the resolution, I'm sorry. And we had 3 bids that came in. One was disqualified because it didn't meet the specs per se, missing a power load, which was supposed to be on the specification of the ambulance. Again, like I said, we've purchased from this company before. Did it in 2017 and in 2016, and we've been pretty happy with the product we're getting from them. They're planning on, like I said, if we order from them, that they're talking about possibly a July 1st, maybe the end of June delivery date. Chassis is already in stock. They just got the box on them and stuff. So, entertain any questions?
Questions tonight?
What's the resale value of the ambulance that we're getting rid of?
Probably not good.
$5.75.
We sold a similar ambulance that was about 5 years older than this one, and the resale value wasn't very good. We got $5,000.
Did you sell that on eBay?
Yeah.
I will say I have seen the old one out running around a little bit lately, so
It's been used quite frequently last.
so we've been getting some use out of it for its final leg of its its life. So, all right. Any other questions? This is a resolution, so all it needs is a simple majority vote.
To approve Council Bill 10.
Motion from Alderman Dickerson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Long. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Council Bill 10 will become Resolution R007. We are already at Alderman Committee reports. Alderman Bowman.
Thank you, Mayor. I am pleased to share with you that Brianna Chiodini, who is the daughter of Chris and Rochelle Chiodini, has met the admission requirements for the U.S. Naval Academy. That will make her the first Harrisonville High School female to ever attend the Naval Academy. So I really want to congratulate her and the family. That's quite an outstanding accomplishment. So. And the other thing that I'll share with you is that Alderman Reese and I have another town hall meeting coming up on the 2nd of March. Chris Lang, the CEO from Cass Regional, will be the presenter. The nurse who was previously scheduled has had a death in the family, so Mr. Lang has stepped up and said that he'll be happy to be at our presentation. He's going to give an update on the hospital and some future plans for the hospital, and then there'll be a Q&A period for the audience. So that's all, Mayor.
I think Alderman Bowman, I think Chiodini's daughter, I think she also went to West Point over the summer, if I remember him talking about that. So that was another kind of neat thing she did.
She's quite an outstanding young woman.
So, yeah, so she's definitely following her passion, sounds like. So well, that's good. Alderman Bachman. Alderman Reese. All right. Alderman Dickerson.
Dude, I don't know.
Alderman Long. Alderman Turner.
Just be safe on the roads, give our street crews room, get our roads clear, and be safe.
Alderman Lees.
I second that.
Mr. Welch.
I always have to spoil this. Okay, so you got my report. One of the items that came up that was in an email that I think you all received, and it's our last item on my updated report about candidate pages showing up as a related page. It's in the module on the Facebook page. It's nothing that we control. However, we can turn that page or turn that module off. The only problem is that we don't show up on other people's pages. But if the board feels that that is something they don't want me to do, or do want me to do, otherwise I'm at the point of Turn it off. with if I contact the Ethics Commission, they're going to say talk to your attorney, and then we go through a whole brouhaha on what qualifies or what doesn't qualify. If we turn it off during the election period, then we don't have to worry about it. Turn it off.
Do you have a suggestion? I mean, I haven't seen it, so.
Because depending upon the computers and the people looking at the pages, it pops up differently.
Okay.
I've used multiple computers and had other people look at our different pages, and different people or nobody will show up that's a candidate in the related pages. I've seen it on Kansas City's website, on their Facebook page, rather, where they've had some candidates or some of their people show up.
So they have theirs turned on.
Well,
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it like something similar to the ads where it kind of monitors what you go, what you look at, and then it pops up ads that corresponds to that?
It's generated on the Facebook algorithm. It's nothing
Right.
that we do. It's nothing that we promote, nothing that we ourselves control.
It's the way the system works.
But we can turn it off.
So is it potentially a page that they have been to before, and that's why it pops up?
It probably looks for names and information on their Facebook
Could be
profile.
keywords, I believe, too. If you've mentioned community center, it may draw it in.
Yeah.
There's a variety of things that can trigger it.
So what we can do, we can turn it off and try it. We can just turn off the related pages on all of our website, or on all of our Facebook pages, and just see what happens.
So would that affect, like, if the city has one and like the police have a separate one, community center, those don't tie in together, I guess?
They don't tie together, but
Or
we
they
turn
just-
them all off.
And all it affects is whether if you're looking, say you're looking at the city's page, say the community centers wouldn't show as related, but it wouldn't affect any other functionality.
Right.
I guess you could try a test run and see what it does if you turn it off. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to see what it does if you turn it off. I mean, and then
I think they're gonna have
be able,
plenty of.
then have results from that.
Chance to put their names out. We're gonna be inundated with political signs for this time. And if they don't know who they are by now, then.
Well, I think what he's asking is basically for, I would say, turn it off to see what it does. Does it affect anything? I mean, we don't know what it's going to affect unless you turn it off, and I think that's what I assume that's what you're kind of looking for is.
After thinking about this for a while, it comes down to, if we want to avoid this minor controversy, we just turn the thing off.
I agree.
And see what happens. Otherwise, we just weather the storm, because I don't know of anybody else that has had this issue or talked about this issue.
Turn it off permanently or just certain time frame?
See what it does.
You'll see it again on April 3rd.
I move that we do that.
Oh,
I have a statement.
I have a motion first. Do I have a second?
I don't think we should do anything controversial, would be my thing, so I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about just turning off a module that allows for information.
Advertising.
Well, it essentially, it's, the way we understand it, this would keep any related pages from popping up, which is the complaint we received from a citizen that's what they're seeing. So that's what we're looking at, is addressing a complaint about, I mean, social media rules are still very, they're still very young. I mean, there may be something out there we don't know about.
It's almost like if it's showing up on our page, it's like we're promoting
Well,
specific people.
That's the accusation.
That's the accusation,
Okay,
whereas,
and that makes sense,
whereas we're not.
because we should be neutral.
Well, the city's not technically promoting anybody, it just happens, that's the way the system works. And so
Right.
that is that's the, what's the word I'm looking for, our appearance, or the way they are, perception, that's the word I was looking for, thank you, that's how they're perceiving it, so that is why the question.
Yeah,
Well,
I seconded it.
Jessica
He
seconded,
thirded it.
so, okay.
I really don't care.
Nothing wrong with doing that as a motion on the fly here.
Well, I think you could,
I
by
mean, it's-
consensus,
Do it without-
you could do it anyway.
Mhm.
If you want to do that by motion, I think that's
Okay, I mean,
a good way to bring the discussion to a head. I
Okay,
think.
okay.
But I think you need to take.
no, I do, yeah, that's why I say I wanted, before we do anything, I want to make sure we were following it right. Okay, so comments, questions?
Yes, I have a statement I'd like to read. These are my comments in response to the question about the related pages showing up on the city's website. The central question here is, what constitutes an endorsement? The fact that Facebook shows my campaign page as a related page on some city Facebook pages is outside of my control. The city has done nothing to cause this, and I have done nothing to cause this. Therefore, it cannot possibly be considered an endorsement of my campaign. Yet one individual has interpreted it as an endorsement, when in fact we all know that it's not. I'll remind you that this is not the first time that this individual has ranted against things or people he personally does not like. In an April email to all of us on the board, as well as to city staff, he leveled a series of very serious charges against the current mayor. No one chose to investigate those complaints. Yet oddly enough, the city wasted no time investigating this one. A double standard, perhaps? In the world of Facebook and social media, this sort of thing happens all the time. Things appear on our pages that we don't necessarily like or agree with. Does the fact that these things appear on our pages mean that we endorse them? Of course not. The second issue here, beyond the endorsement question, involves the right to free speech. If the city chooses to stop related pages from showing on all city Facebook pages, then the city is actively blocking the public's right to information about their city and their government. And yes, that includes who the representatives are and who's running for public office. This is vital information for citizens. The fact that the complainant doesn't like it or doesn't like me is irrelevant. The board can choose to do what it wants in this matter, but I choose to stand up for the principle of open government and free speech. and I'm pretty sure the ACLU would agree with me. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. Let's not prevent citizens from seeing information that will help them learn about our city and those who are candidates for public office. Citizens have a right to be informed, and we should not be blocking that right.
I'd like to comment that we should not tell people there's a double standard. The other email had nothing to do with something that would be taken up by the city. This was directly targeted at the city's Facebook page, which is the city's responsibility, and that's why the question was risen. The accusation has also been directed at me, somehow claiming that seeing my page or something about me, I've received emails from the same individual. The point is, it doesn't matter who sends it. The point is there a valid point that there's related pages? I don't think you're shutting anybody off of anything. People can still access the city's Facebook page. They can access anybody else's page. All you're doing is changing the appearance. I know some cities don't allow comments on their Facebook page. I believe we do.
Yeah.
A lot of cities don't do that. They choose not to allow comments. Well, you could try to argue that, oh, that's not giving the people their right to speak. No, they have their right to come up here at any given meeting, at a public participation. We provide an outlet for that. And as far as seeking out that information, you can go type it in, election, whatever. I think this has to do with the perception of what's out there. And what basically is proposed is we turn it off to see what effect it has. We have another meeting in another week or 2 weeks. We can come back and say in 2 weeks, has there been any change? Has there been any downside to it? Or if there's something in between there, obviously you could issue that back out. I think what you said was we're looking for consensus on seeing what happens if this is turned off. It's not, obviously, this is not a move to mute people or try to prevent somebody from seeing something. I think everybody can find out the information, who's running for office.
We're not putting everyone that's running is not on there, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Not everybody's picture?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Like, can I ask why Drew's worried about it being shut off? Like, I don't know. He just showed it to me and we swiped through, but I just was curious why you.
It's an algorithm of Facebook. When
Right.
a page is trending, that's what happens. And it's not in anybody's control.
Okay.
So,
But does it hurt you that it gets shut off would be the question. You're the only one that looks like it's on there.
It's because my Facebook page is trending, of
Okay.
course. No, it doesn't hurt me.
When you
But I
spend
think-
all that money, that's.
Okay, that's irrelevant.
No,
That's
I
irrelevant.
was
What
really did want to know.
The
what
comment,
you're worried about.
the comment is if it shows up,
Sponsor every ad.
that's not the discussion here. The discussion is there any effect by turning this off? And I don't think that it is closing anybody off. I don't think it's preventing anybody to get information. It's just simply, it is something beyond, she's absolutely right. It is beyond her control, my control, your control, anybody that has a page.
But it's not above the board's control to turn it off, right?
It's not above the board's control to turn it off, and I don't think that do you see any block of information by shutting off something that allows an log?
I don't see a constitutional right that would force the city to have a Facebook page. The city can decide whether to do it or whether not to do it. I think Happy can probably make that decision himself.
But he's looking for board.
But he's looking for
consent.
input for the board, unless the board specifically instructed him not to do it.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
I think that's a call that he probably has a right as the city administrator to make.
Okay. All right, well, I had a motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Levison. Any further discussion?
Well, I
Yes.
just have a question.
Sure.
If Happy can make that decision, then why are we voting on it?
I think he's just looking for board.
Direction.
Looking for more input. I thought this was important, but we had some input on it.
Mhm.
He wanted us to make the decision, he didn't want to make it himself, he wants us to make it.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good thing to ask and not just,
Yeah.
assume, so.
I have a question too. Mr. Welch, was there just one complainant on this? Thank you.
Okay, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
I need a show of hands of the ayes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the noes. Okay, so we will turn it off and we will get an update the next meeting of any effect this has had on anything. Okay, very good. Anything else? Debbie Downer? I just want to real quick recognize, we had some state championship wrestlers. Sam East took first place at state. He's a senior. Nani Justice was the first girl for the girls wrestling to take a state championship. Thought that was pretty exciting. And then Trevor Campbell got sixth place. So yeah, I heard he finished with a couple broken bones. So that makes it pretty impressive to get that done. But anyway, pretty exciting. If you saw it on Facebook, it's pretty proud to have our town represented by these fine young people, and I just wanted to be sure to point them out. We're still working on, I've had some more questions about the brush drop-off pickup. Obviously, Mother Nature is still dealing us a hand. Until we get a little bit of break in the weather, it's going to be difficult to do anything. So we're still working on it. We're still going to get it done. It's just we got to wait for the weather to cooperate. So anyway, one other thing is I've had a question about whether or not we have enough ice melt. We have plenty of ice melt. We're good. We're just digging into our road budget every time we got to order more. But we have plenty of salt. We'll keep weathering the storm. So that's all I have. Yes, you can have. You didn't have your moment, but I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
I know I did. I just noticed this oats thing,
Uh-huh.
and I wondered if there was any discussion on that. I'm not really sure. According to this, we're no longer going to have bus service for the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, I don't mean it's our responsibility.
No, I know what you're saying. There's not going to be a service in town available is what you're
Right.
eventually, yeah.
And so then it goes on to talk about them moving the Oats district office.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my own ignorance, but what does Oats do for us other than the bus?
That's
it.
That's it. They transport, I mean, mostly I think the elderly, and then they do the people at Casco, they drive them back and forth. Not all of them, but some of them make use of the Oat service.
So will there still be some Oats service, or will it all be gone?
Eventually, I think it's going to be.
So we're going to take this to a committee, because what they're talking about is going 3 days a week starting March 1st, and then after June 1st, they're going to look at, the federal money is getting cut back.
Right.
So if there's no service, why do they even have an office?
Well, they'll have an office, they'll have services like other cities have contracted with them. I think Lee Summit might be one of them.
Okay.
And so that's why they're moving their office up there, but, to do it down here would require, like it says in there, it's like $60-some thousand, so it's gonna require some discussion about, is that an option, or are there other options? I mean, there's.
It looks like there'd be grant money available somewhere. That's not a lot of money.
That's what they did away with, was the money. The government did away with it.
It's the federal funding that's dwindling, so.
So the office is the regional office, and they're just relocating. They've been here, but now they're relocating to Lee Summit, where they also have their bus school.
Right.
So that doesn't really have anything to do with what our issue is, but it relates to our constituents.
Yeah, right.
That they're gonna have problems getting to work, getting to places that they wanna go.
Right. So when you say we're going to discuss it, or?
It'll go to, will it go to Public Works or?
Only community development.
Community development, yeah, about whether or not, this and what other options are there. I mean, there used to be taxi services in Harrisonville. That might be, or Uber. I mean, I don't know if anybody Ubers around Harrisonville.
My son does.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was any Uber services, but,
Yep.
that may be what it goes to, is somebody, the issue is I know a lot of the seniors make use of it, and it was a low-cost transportation option, so, but,
I just wondered.
yep, so just making it aware that it's gonna go down, and we need to, is there something we want to do? I know other cities have made contracts, but again, it's not cheap, so.
No.
All right, anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Hey, Judy, right now, since the government shut down, Oats is not running, and they haven't been running. They're waiting for the federal funding to start back, and then they'll start running routes again. So it's been down since the government shut down.
That's it?
Currently. Yeah. I had a guy call me today about it, and I did some checking into it.
They also transport medical people too, like
Right.
when my nephew needed it to go to Children's Mercy and my brother and sister-in-law didn't have a car, they moved them
But
Harrisonville to Children's Mercy.
they've been shut down since the government shut down, and they're waiting for federal funding to come back before they start back up.
I see. So you think that once you think that eventually they're going to start doing it again?
Once the funding starts back, they'll start their routes again, but their funding's getting reduced and then.
They're gonna, by summertime,
It'll be
they'll
obsolete.
be done. As far as, unless there's a contract or something worked up, as far as them just doing the service, it will terminate in the summertime, so. And I did want to point out that I forgot about we were at the legislative conference last week. We had the opportunity to go down on the Senate floor. Ed Emery introduced us on the Senate floor. I did notice the person leading the meeting in the Senate had this giant gavel that was like huge, made lots of noise. Happy denied me getting one like that. He said that was not going to happen, so yeah, no luck. So, but no, it was a good conference. We got a chance to visit with Donna Fouch and Ed Emery and some of the other representatives, and actually ran into Governor Parson on the stairwell and got to visit with him for a minute, and he spoke. It was a really good conference. I think they really have revamped that, and it was a very good conference. A lot of good information. So,
I
anyway,
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Levison to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.